Hello and welcome to Stir Crazy Art Classes with Gerald Savine, lesson number 34. We're going to continue the painting today of the ducks in the bowl of water. As you can see here, I've added on some colour since the other day. Again, just a quickie, there is the original photograph we'll be working from, and I'll put that to one side, and this is the painting we've done before, or I've done before. So we're going to start now by painting the bowl here, and again hopefully you can see we've got a mix here of burnt sienna and a little bit of burnt umber, but also again here I originally used Payne's grey. We haven't got that, so I've mixed together some some burnt umber and ultramarine blue to give us a dark colour, which I should be using instead. And again, I've mixed one a bit more with a little bit more blue in for doing the shadow on the ducks as well. So we're going to start painting. I'm going to use a broader brush again. I've got a number, still using number 8. So off we go. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of the burnt umber and a little bit of the burnt sienna, and again just very, very thinly bring that through here. Okay, it won't be quite the same colour as we can see there, but again I just go down, pull it round, and as it comes round, hopefully it will just begin to thin out. It's got a bit heavier there at the moment, but we'll sort that one out as we go along. Again, coming round here, and you see as we pull the colour, you see how it gets thinner and thinner, because it's actually a metal dish that the creatures are sitting in, or the one is sitting in where the ones are feeding from. And just quickly, now again here, well we'll discuss this later on, but we're just quickly working. I'm going to put a little bit more colour in at the ends, both ends. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in some of the, I've pre-prepared a little bit of the blue, mix of the blue and burnt umber to give us a bit more shadowy effect there. Again, this has gone quite wet now. Perhaps I better leave that just to dry off a little bit. What I will do while that's drying off a bit, I'm going to put some colour into this area here. So again here, I'm just going to work my way around carefully around this duck that's in the water, but a bit more pigment in there I think. That's quite dark, that's alright. I'm leaving a slight gap there because there's the rim of the dish is catching the light. Do the same over this side again here. We're outlining the animals themselves. So again, it'll be easier when we come to actually paint, because this will actually give a lot of the description of the shape of the ducks. And again here, coming around quite quickly, watching the time. Again, so amazing how time controls our lives, isn't it? Come back over here now. I'm going to wash the brush out. Let's get that one out of the way. And I'm going to bring the colour down a bit more. Bring a little bit of this colour in here. Around. A little bit of the darker colouring. Wash the brush out. Damp off the water from the brush so we're not too wet. And just gradually thin the colour down. And again here, coming around carefully, so we've got the highlighting on the rim, and then tightly down to where the water is. And again, doing the same over this side, we can now begin to thin the colour down. And hopefully by the time we get round to finishing this bit, we can put some more in the outside of it. Again, you notice I'm bringing the colours this way because of the again, now we can start seeing now it's dried off a bit. We can now begin to get a bit more stronger colour in. Still a bit wet there, I'm afraid. Let's pull that up a bit. Helps to thin it out. Again, as ever, you've got more time than me, so hopefully you're going to take a bit more care of what you're doing. Let's try and pull the colour around there. You can see you've got the shadow coming from the rim that's folded out. Now again, you should find it easier to do here. I'm having to do a bit cack-handed, I'm afraid. Yeah. I'm just going to see that's gone a bit squidgy there, so I'm just going to take off, just work the colour around, just gently with a fairly dry brush. Just dabbing the brush off on the tissue all the time, just to take it down. I'll come back to that a bit once it's dried off a little bit more. So again, here we can pull the colour down. Just get a bit more. Again, as the light comes round here and round here as well. I won't go to all the complications that we've got around here. I'll let you do that. But again, we'll be bringing a stronger colouring when it's all dry. Then it won't get thinned out. So again, a bit dark around there. So now I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in some colour, the burnt sienna. There's all that muddy water that's in there. And again, can you see here I've managed to try and get that sort of swirly effect. So again here, leaving a bit of white. A bit more pigment there, I think. It's a bit too thin. Coming round there. And again, it's coming round under this duck's beak. Carefully round there, but then just pull it round. So it gives a feeling of the water getting swirled around by the animals being in there. And again here. So as I've said so many times before, you never be the same second time around. So we're not worried about that. But we just bring that round. Hopefully it'll just begin to pick up. And again, a bit darker underneath the bird here, because it's causing a shadow on the water. Just give a little bit of colour for its legs. And again round here, coming round. As before, just be a bit careful around its feathers. The feathers are ruffled up on this one. There we go. So that's that. A slightly thinner colour, perhaps, just to go underneath. On the other side, where the light's catching it. You might have noticed that I'm just going to squish this down a bit. There we go. So thin it down a bit. And I'm bringing some of the darker colouring we had before into here. You can see again under here the shadow caused by the duck's body on the water. Again, here it's been a bit drier, so it's been more a notable shape, whereas this is thinning out a bit because of the dampness. But again here, you've got the swirl coming round here because of the duck. Oh dear. Sorry about that, it's our bread maker on the go. But, it should stop shortly, all being well. I don't really want to stop at the moment because we've got quite well underway with this, so I'm afraid I do apologise for the noise that's going on in the background. It just proves we are working at home. Again here, I'm just coming through here, but hopefully it won't be too disruptive of what we're doing. So that's given me some idea about the feeling of the things going on. There's a little bit of blue there in the water, so I'll pick up a bit of the ultramarine blue. There's a bit of reflection of it. It was a nice sunny day, so there's a little bit of, no, it's not showing up very well. Never mind. Right, well that's done very quickly. Again, you refer back to the original picture. Again, as I've always said before, don't be afraid to download onto your computer or onto your desktop or whatever the lessons. Then you can go back and look at what we've been doing, and it will just help you get things right. So don't be worried about doing that. Okay. So again, just give some. You can see how they're just leaving the paper clear there. You're just showing up the edge. Now we're going to have a tackle of the ducks. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start at the ducks at the back, and I'm going to start with one colour first. Now the beaks, I'm going to paint all of the beaks first. They are actually raw sienna, but it's very thin, and it makes it almost like a yellow colour, doesn't it? So again, this is so I will say the magic of watercolour paint is a colour. Oops, let's go. I can use a different brush here. I think some different water as well, so we get a cleaner finish. That was a bit dirty, that one. Again, careful with the beaks here. But what I'm doing now is just going to pull the colour so that it's some of that colour back, the original nice bright light colouring. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting a second, when it's dry we can then put some darker colouring on, so it again helps to give the shape, shadow to the bird's beak. Alright, so if you haven't got raw sienna, you might find yellow ochre might be a good alternative for this exercise with the whole painting. So there we go, just got that on. Now whilst I've got this on the go, I'm going to put a bit more pigment in, and I'm just going to work my way around. I don't know if you can see this on here. I'm going to put some more colour into here in various places. So we're starting off with, again, the lighter colouring first. Get the brush the right way around. We're coming to the end of this session now, so I'll be very quick and try and get this lighter colouring on before we finish. And then in the next session we'll carry on with the painting of the ducks, and then hopefully you'll be able to pick up. Now you can see I'm working my way around, deliberately working my way around with the animals, getting the fluff again here, fluff of the colouring in here for their legs, this character here as well, but again we'll see that later. And I think we've got just a moment or two before we're going to have to come off now for this session and come back. But again, I will put some more colouring in so that we can make sure we can get this painting finished in the next session. But again, as I've always said, you've got more time than me. Look at the original, download, and then you've got more time to have a look and see where everything is working for you. Okay, so I think that's probably about the right time now to finish, and we'll see you again in lesson